Welcome, Mr. Abraham Gray. How are you?
I'm doing amazing. It's good to see you today.
The one and only. Thank
Yeah,
you so much for joining me.
yeah. Thanks for
I
having
have
me.
been reaching out to everybody I met at Squad Up to talk about their three goals
Mhm.
and what their actions are that they're going to be doing in the next 60 days. And you are so kind to join me and talk about your three goals. But before we get into that, I know you have done so much. You've made millions. You've in real estate and with businesses. You've got thousands of followers. You got so much content out there. So I'm not going to ask you how you got into real estate because everybody can see that for themselves. But I'm just wondering, looking back on everything you've done so far, um, what do you think you would do differently?
I mean, the stuff that I would do differently is some of the stuff that's been really successful for me and what I see successful for everybody else. I would have just done sooner. I do a lot of that stuff, but I didn't do it as early on. So I would have got with more people sooner. I would have started networking and worked with a lot more people when I was younger that were at a point where I wanted to be, or where I'm at now, where I only really kind of talk to like one or two people. Or I wish I was talking to dozens of people because I don't know what I would have missed or how much faster I could have got where I was going. And a lot of the stuff that really helped me was different programs I joined or mentorships. Um, I don't think there was really that many when I was younger, but I did join one or two early on. But I think joining a couple more would have helped speed things along as well.
Gotcha. It really is a relationship business, right? So if we're not talking to people, we're missing out. Yeah, totally makes sense. So what have you like you've had so much success all over the place. Like what are you most proud of?
I'm probably just most proud of being able to do whatever I want and living a stress-free life. Having I've been married and with my wife for 27 years. I have three kids, so like I've just done a lot of things that a lot of other people haven't done personally. Like half the people, or more than half the people I know, have been divorced, which is nothing wrong with that, but they obviously learn stuff from their divorce. Now they're probably in happy marriages. I was able to learn all that stuff early on to where I didn't have to go through all that. So, the fact that I got three healthy kids, they're all, positive, they're all doing well and healthy. And the fact that I could really do whatever I want. I could go work out when I want. I could go travel when I want. I could work when I want. I don't have to work. And that's probably the coolest thing that really, and then of course, that I'm able to help a lot of people and that everyone knows me as being very positive and a good reputation. So I think those are all the coolest things.
Yeah. How long was it before you got to that point?
I would
You-
say that I was a really bad kid when I was younger. So, I grew out of it. And
Yeah.
luckily, I was just very creative and smart when I was younger to where I didn't really get in so much trouble because I was able to figure out ways to get out of trouble. But I could have been in big, deep shit for sure.
Yeah.
But you just, as you have more to lose, you tend to behave yourself more and do stuff right. When you have nothing to lose, like you can do whatever you want. Who cares? You have nothing to lose. So once I met my wife, started having kids, and then started growing my businesses. As I had more to lose, I just realized it's stupid to do all this hoodlum stuff and start doing use that same stuff but do it in a different way, positively. So I would say that in my mid 20s, I was pretty set.
Okay.
So from my mid 20s on, I was basically just trying to figure out stuff that I could do that I enjoyed and make enough money to get to a certain point. But by my mid 30s, I was like, I probably have more money than 99.99999% of people. So
Yeah.
I'm 50 next year. So that's over 15 years ago. But between 25 and 35, I mean, I was already set. But like once I hit my early 30s, it was like ridiculously set, I guess.
Oh, man. So for those of us who are starting late, oh, man. So when did you start? You started like when you were like
15.
15, 16,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. I started my first business when I was 15, and
Oh,
I did really well. And like, I made and saved $1 million But before I was, by the time I was 19, 20 years old,
Right.
I had $1 million in my bank account. So, and then I just started, growing it.
Yeah. I love it. Well, okay. So you're growing it. We're talking about the things that you've done, the success you've had. Part of Squat Up was having a game plan, right? We finished off with discussing what our game plan is. We started off with the 10 and then we narrowed it down to 3. What are your 3 goals?
So crazy enough, I don't even make goals anymore, honestly, because I've hit every goal that I really wanted to achieve, where I don't necessarily have like particular goals. But if
Okay.
I had to pick goals, I would say to really figure out ways to enjoy life, but
Okay.
make money and help other people at the same time. So, I work closely with a couple people. Alexis, I work closely with, so I'm trying to help her grow her stuff. And I'm trying to just put stuff in place to where pretty much people could do all the stuff I don't like, and I could just focus on the stuff I like. Because at Squat Up, they talked about you don't retire. You don't retire from something that you enjoy doing.
Exactly.
So you've got to, set yourself up, and that's what I do. Set myself up to where everything I do, some people might call it work, some people might not, but everything I do, whether it's work or not, is stuff I enjoy. So my goal is just to keep doing stuff I enjoy, and anything I don't enjoy, not doing it, or figure out someone else that can do it.
Yeah. So for actions, right? How have you gone about saying, okay, these are the things I'm going to delegate out? Do you already have the people in place and you just kind of assign that off, or okay?
Yeah, I mean, I have everything in place. There's nothing like when I left Squat Up, I'm like, oh, I got to do this different. The reason why I go to Squat Up or places like that are just to network and meet more people and do more deals with new people. And the more people you meet, the more opportunities that come about. So that was the purpose. I mean, goals, I haven't set goals in 15, 20 years probably, but yeah, just for me, it's just to be a good person, help people, make money with people, and enjoy life, and try to be as healthy as possible. And like I said, enjoy life.
Nice. Okay, so for those of us who aren't at that point yet, do you what would be 1 or 2 things you would recommend for everybody who's setting their goals and working towards these goals in the next 60 days?
Yeah, I mean, everyone has different goals, so you have to figure out what your goal is. So, like, if I talk to one person in particular and they said, okay, these are my 3 goals, I can give them advice based on their 3 goals. Right. But I really need to know what your goals are to give you advice, because the advice I give you might be different than somebody else, because your goals could be totally different.
Ooh, okay. So I'm going to pick your brain then.
Okay.
One of my goals is to really build out my social media and be more consistent with it, and have that follow up and follow through with everybody that I've met, because I've not been really good with that in the last year. I've met people, I've gone to events, right? But it's like, okay, what kind of system can I put in place?
So if that's your goal, what I would do is I would say, okay, how much time do I have that I could put toward that every single week or every single day or every single month, whatever you pick.
Yeah.
And make sure that you commit to that. And you have to do it. Like, it's like your job. Like, if you don't do it, you're going to get punished. So whatever that time is, I don't know, like if you have, another job, or if you just kind of do real estate, or if you do, whatever you do, but figure out how much time you have to work, and figure out what you do with the rest of your time. How much time do you go out, on dates? How much time do you go to the gym? How much time do you just hang out at the pool? How much time do you have, do yoga, whatever. Figure out what you have to do to make you feel good, and then figure out how much time's left. And make sure that you commit a certain amount of time to doing that every single day, every single week, every single month, depending on how much you want to do. Yeah. And make that like where it's not negotiable. Make that where you have to do it. If you don't do it, somehow you punish yourself. You figure out a way to punish yourself.
Ooh, okay. And consequences.
Yes, you have to have consequences. And then say, look, I'm going to do this for the next 3 months, 6 months, 12 months. And then I'll reevaluate it and see if I want to keep doing it, not do it, or, what the benefits or what the negatives were of it. And then, revisit the game plan. Do you want to spend more time, less time, whatever? That's what I would do.
Right. Okay. So commit the time and build in consequences. Excuse me. Okay. Well, if I'm going to have consequences for not doing it, then I should have some kind of celebration or treat for doing it, right?
Well, the celebration and treat for doing it is the reason why you're doing it in the first place. You obviously think by doing it, you're going to accomplish something greater at some point. So that's your present. But that might be something that takes a week. It might take a month. It might take many months or a year. Like sometimes some of the stuff you do takes a long time to see the reward, but you've just got to stick with it for a certain amount of time, like ahead of time. Say, look, I'm going to stick with it for 6 months no matter what, even if I don't get a reward, because the reward is going to come later. Like the hardest thing to do in life is stuff that you don't see instant gratification on. Almost everything that people do is because they get instant gratification, right? That's why people eat so much. They know it's going to make them fat and go to the hospital and have diabetes, but they do it because it feels so good now. So the people that are really good don't eat all that crap or do work out or do whatever because they know down the road it's going to really be beneficial. That's very, very hard because they don't see that right now. So it's the same thing with social media. You might not see the positives for a certain amount of time, and you got to know ahead of time, look, no matter what, if I see it or not, I'm going to stick with it for this amount of time, no matter what, and then go from there. So that's kind of the way that I would look at it. And you might not get a present right away.
Okay. I love it. So the results are the reward, basically.
100%.
Yes.
That's why you're doing it. That's why people do anything they do. If there was no reward, people wouldn't do it. But some people have to get the reward right away, and that's the people that have no, self-discipline. And then there's people that are okay with getting a reward a year from now, 5 years from now, sometimes 10 or 20 years from now.
Yeah.
Like for instance, every time people get money, what do? They spend it. Most people spend it. The smart people, the people that are the wealthiest and the people that are really good, they're like, look, I don't need my instant gratification. I'm willing to invest it, save it, not go on, whatever until 5 years from now, 10 years. And those are the people that are successful. It's not easy. It's not easy to stay in shape. It's not easy to save money. It's not easy to whatever else it is. Nothing's easy, but you have to understand that you have to look at the benefits down the road, not right now. If you look at the benefits right now, you're always going to make bad decisions.
Yeah. Yeah. It makes me think, on my W-2, I have my team. We work on so many different kinds of projects, implementations that can take months. And, I think that happy medium can be depending on how long you're looking at. If it is something that takes months or years, maybe you build in some wins. Maybe you take a time to say, okay, this is how far we've come, right? This is the progress we've made. Now let's recognize that and appreciate that, celebrate that. Now let's keep going because we have these other things we've got to hit. With social media, though, it's hard because it's like you don't know how long it takes to be successful.
It could take a long time. If you want to make it easier on yourself, get like a buddy that does social media, starts up social media with you at the same time, and then you guys kind of stay on top of each other and help each other. So it's always easier to do something with someone typically.
Yeah. Yeah. So speaking of social media, like what have you noticed to be the bigger hits, the most popular?
So what I've noticed is the things that you think are going to be the worst end up being the best. The things you think are going to be the best don't work out half the time. It's crazy. Like it's so hit or miss. If you go look at all the viral videos out there, it's the dumbest videos that hit the most amount. It's like you just don't know. So you can't get super discouraged when something doesn't hit because it's like something's going to hit at the moment you don't think. Right.
Now you have a team that helps you with your social media, right? Did you start out that way because you already knew what you were going to do and how much? Okay.
I had no idea. I just hired a team. So, cause it takes a lot of time. Like you have to dedicate time to do it. And if you have people that do it with you, then, it takes a lot of the time away. So, you don't waste as much time or, so, and plus I'm just not as good at it as people that have done it. So I always get people that are better than me at it and people that can help me save my time. So that's why I did it.
Nice. Okay. So for those of us who's starting out, kind of makes me think it's the who, right? If you're not good at it, go find somebody who is good at it that can help you with it.
I mean, right? ask questions and ask friends of yours, stuff, but you can still do it all yourself because most people don't want to spend money on it. I mean, people like me and, people that that have big social media followings, they probably spend a lot of money on it. It doesn't make sense to spend a lot of money on it for most people until they could, make money off it, monetize it somehow. So the beginning, you just do it all yourself, and hopefully it takes off. If not, then you seek advice from people that are doing good, and see what you could, ask them what you could change. And eventually, once you start doing good, then you might get someone to help you, and figure out a way to make it make sense.
Gotcha. Okay. So from the man who does not make goals because he doesn't need to.
I just don't really have anything that I really care to ever. I don't have like a goal to make a certain amount of money anymore because I've already made way more than I need to. I don't have a goal to, to do. I mean, everything in my life, luckily, is pretty much the way I want it. So I don't really have, goals, especially no important goals.
Right. Just maintain, I guess, what you have, right?
Yeah, maintain and get a little bit better at it, but not a specific, goal for that.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for joining me and sharing some words of wisdom on how any of us who are working towards building our social media, at least we have some tips there. Yeah. And I would say we could circle back in 60 days to see how your goals are going, like I have with the others.
I'll be in the same situation I am now.
You'll be in the same. Helping more people, right? Yeah. So you're in sub 2 as well. Have you how do you prefer people get a hold of you? I mean, there's so many different ways.
Email is probably best, but you could do Facebook Messenger or really anything. But typically, email is always best. I answer my emails really fast all the time. So if you try to get a hold of me any other way, it won't be as fast as email. Okay.
So what is your email that you'd like to share?
Yeah, it's my name, Abraham, Abraham, and then it's MMA, like mixed martial arts, and then ATL, like Atlanta.com. So Abraham at MMAATL.com.
MMATL. Oh, yes. Okay, got it. Okay, so I have to wait. I'm going to totally sidetrack because you're talking about MMA. I've been training in MMA, not like professionally or anything like that. I started with just getting self defense and fitness and all of that with Krav Maga and all of that. So I've been doing that almost. Oh gosh, it's been 20 some odd years now.
Oh, wow. So you're pretty good.
I have my black belt, but I just love it. It's a whole different mindset.
100%. Yeah. It's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle.
It is. It absolutely is. I could see such a transition between when I first started out and I was a little hesitant about trying things, and especially when we were like doing any kind of ground stuff, I was like, oh my gosh, you're going to sit on top of me. Like, like, wait a minute. And now, after all this time, it's not a big deal. And the people, you can totally tell the difference with people just starting out. There's the confidence is not there yet, right? It's so great to see it in the kids, especially the kids that start out and they're kind of gawky. Maybe they're a little heavy because they haven't had any kind of exercise ever. And then to see them just transition, they got more discipline, they got more confidence, they got more swagger on the mat, and it's just like, oh my gosh, my son. I've been training my son since he was half my size. I was like, okay, we're going to wrestle here. We're going to do this and that. And it's just amazing to see the instincts, right, that come out. And because I focus more on the self-defense part of it than anything else. And so it's like, okay, what are you going to do if this happens? What are you going to do if that happens? And to see him when he goes to the gym with me, and it's so funny because now he's leveled up and he's just like, okay, I'm never going to go down to the lower levels again. And I was like, why aren't you going to go work with the lower levels? Like, why not? I've been working with you all this time. How do you think I feel? And he's like, yeah, because they don't do it right. And they get sloppy and they don't have any control. Right. But as you train more and harder and longer, all of that, you have more control over yourself. You can be fast without being hard when you're throwing punches, for example. It's just such such a life-changing thing, really. So I'm curious, how long have you been doing jujitsu?
I've been doing jujitsu for over 12, 13 years, but I've been doing martial arts since I was a teenager. So I'm
Yeah.
50 next year. So like I've been doing over 30 some years of martial arts. A little bit did karate for a while, some Muay Thai,
Yeah.
jujitsu, a little bit of MMA. I actually had 6 fights, amateur fights. Yeah.
Ooh.
I was old. I was old when I started fighting. My first fight, I was 38. And then I fought like maybe like one fight every year or so so I have 6 fights. So I probably over a 6-year span. But I was like in my mid 40s my last fight. So that was kind of
Yeah.
old.
Yeah. Yeah. I know my son, my ex would be like, you should get in there. I'm like, oh no, I'm not. This is for my health, which is the exact opposite. You go in there for something else.
Sometimes you're just curious to see how you match up with other people. It's like
Yeah.
you just gotta see. But
I know. Yeah, I've had those fleeting moments of, yeah, I mean, it would be kind of cool to see. And then I'm like, no, I think I'm good. I think I'll
it's definitely not for everybody. It's a little bit crazy.
yeah.
I mean, unless you pick an opponent that you're better than. But
Oh, right, exactly. Yeah.
most of the time you go in there, you don't really know the opponent so well. So
Yeah, I know. So 6 fights. How did you do?
so I won 2, my last 4.
Oh, okay. All right.
If I was younger, I would have won them all. But
Oh, absolutely. For sure. That's the one thing too. I could be better. I could be in better shape right now
yeah,
compared to what I've been. I think about that, and sometimes I get hard on myself, and I've got my plan for that. But the cool thing is, I go to the gym, and I'm working with the 20-something years old, those young ones, right? And I'm running circles around them, and I'm like, dude, because I've learned how to pace myself. I've learned, controlling your breath and all of the things.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, you haven't figured that out yet.
Yeah.
So, okay, awesome. I really enjoyed that. Thanks so much for sharing and joining me today.
Where do you live?
I'm in Phoenix.
Oh, you're in Phoenix. Oh, shoot. I was just in Phoenix like last week. Yeah.
Oh, man. Okay. Well, maybe sometime when you're back out here, you could come to my gym.
Okay. Yeah. What kind of gym is it? Is Krav Maga, Jiu-Jitsu, MMA? What is it?
Everything. It's React Self-Defense Systems, and
they have a Jiu-Jitsu program.
They're focused on Krav Maga, and then it goes from there. They have a tactical black program where it incorporates all the mixed martial arts and weapons as well. So there's gun retention, gun defenses, knife, stick, everything, and it's standing, ground, everything. Yeah, we talk about hostage scenarios, all kinds of exciting things.
Yeah.
So
well, next time
for the mind and the body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was there 3 days. I was there last Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Oh well. Next time you're here, let me know. I'll hook you up. You can come to my gym. It's pretty cool.
Sounds good.
Awesome. Take care.
All right,
Thank
thanks.
you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. All right.